Hello learners, my name is Dr. Prateek Kumar and I teach history in Ramlal Anand College of Delhi University. Today I am going to talk about the spread of Hinduism in Southeast Asia. Around 2000 years ago, Hinduism spread into Southeast Asia along with migrants from various parts of Indian subcontinent who brought with them traditional arts, religious beliefs and customs, as well as Sanskrit language, which was used as a sacred language and left behind a significant cultural legacy. Indians often traveled to the regions of Southeast Asia through both land and sea, resulting in the establishment of Indian settlement in various regions of mainland and maritime Southeast Asia. The Hindu kings were ruling in the Malay Peninsula, Cambodia, Java, Sumatra and Borneo and Bali in the 1st century AD. On account of the presence of a large Hindu population in Southeast Asia, the region is often described as further or greater India. The region is referred to as Swarnadeepa, that is the island of gold, or Swarnabhumi, the land of gold in the ancient Indian texts. Thus, prior to the colonization of Southeast Asian countries in the 17th and the 18th century by European colonizers, the region was closely connected with India culturally and commercially. As far as the spread of Shaivism is considered in Southeast Asia, the cult of Shiva was possibly introduced in the kingdom of Funan, which includes present day southern Vietnam, southeastern Cambodia and southern Thailand. Funan is considered as the earliest kingdom with capital in Vaidhapur, ruled from 3rd to 7th century AD. The kingdom was established by Kaundinya, originally a Brahmin from Panpan, a state in the Malay Peninsula. He laid much emphasis on the cult of Shiva and introduced state ownership of the deity. Since its appearance in Southeast Asia, Shaivism has left a deep mark on the life and culture of Southeast Asian people. This is attested by the fact that in 7th century AD, during the reign of Ishan Varman I, who was a Cambodian king of Chelna, he named his capital as Ishanpuri, which means the city of Ishan, that is Shiva. Later on, a Khmer king, Indravarman, founded a city named Shivpur and built a temple now popularly known as Pareko in Cambodia, dedicated to Shiva. Shiva's name was also associated with the name of other cities in Cambodia known as Lingapur and Rudralay, etc. There are several temples dedicated to Shiv, and throughout the Southeast Asian countries, Shiva is worshipped both in human and linga form. In his human form, he is widely known as Nataraj. The discovery of Nataraj statue in mission style in Cambodia is an evidence of it. The worship of Shiva in the form of lingam is still common today among the Chams Brahmin of Vietnam. Coins of the 8th century bearing the Shiva symbol, that is Nandi and Trident, have been found from Myanmar's Arakan province, and a linga 14 inch in height was found in the district of Kalangon, showing that this form of Shaivism was also known to the Burmese people. The religious life of Cambodia was overwhelmingly influenced by Shiva teachers of India, though the local genius was not entirely absent. The followers of Shaivism in Khmer Empire had given Shiva some local names such as Sri Sikheshwara, the Lord of Peak, In the Angchumnik inscription dated 667 AD, we hear of two lingas dedicated to the god of Sri Matkeshwara. It is difficult to explain the origin and meaning of this name of the deity unless we take it to be a local name of Shiva in the region. Another local god of the Khmer, Jalanges, also identified with Shiva, is known from the Prayakek inscription. Excavation at Traique, the most ancient capital of Champa in southern Vietnam, have produced ample evidence of Indian influence in the form of Shaivite and Vaishnavite shrines. Shiva, his Shakti and his two sons, Ganesh and Askand, were prominent among the goddesses worshipped in this region. The dominant position of Pasupata, a subsect of Shaivism in Cambodia, is known from several other epigraphical evidences. The Pasupata is mentioned in the Nom Prah inscription of Bhaobarman II. Bhaobarman was another important king from Chelna Empire. The Pasupatas had their ashram in this region. The Pasupata is also referred in Sambor Pri Cook inscription of Ishan Varman. The record, comprising 15 Sanskrit verses, opens with an invocation to Kadambeshwara. It is also recorded in the primary source, the installation of Shiva Linga in 627 AD by Vidya Vishesha, an official of the king Ishan Varman. Shaivism was also connected with Tantrism in this region. In fact, in Shaivite temples, the Cambodian maintained almost identical the similar method of worship and other activities relating to the worship as were traditionally followed in India. Archaeological findings so far had discovered proved that Shaivism in the form of the Siddhantika as well as Pasupata was very popular in Southeast Asian countries. The most outstanding contribution of the Southeast Asian countries for the development of Shaivism is the worship of Shiva's footprint, what we called Shiva Pad, which is perhaps unknown among the Shiva votaries in Indian religion. The worship of Shiva Pad was one of the most popular object of worship among the Saivas of Cambodia. The Being inscription mentions a donation of Shiva Pada. Jayavarman V, a ruler of Khmer Empire and a keen devotee of Shiva, issued an inscription in the name of Shiva Pada. Apart from Cambodia, the influence of Shaivism could also be seen in Thailand. So, after Cambodia and Vietnam, the influence of Shaivism could also be seen in the Thailand, especially in the northeastern and eastern parts between 6th and 12th century. It is evident from the fact that the high frequency of inscriptions belonging to Shaivism found in the northeastern Thailand. For example, Bhavarman's inscriptions tells us of the creation or erection of image of Shiva. Phen Thong Deng Udhong inscription dated 7th century AD was dug from Uthong district, Suphanburi province in the west central part of Thailand in 1957. It tells us that Sri Hars Varman, a grandson of King Sri Ishan Varman, after ascending the throne, offered a palanquin decorated with gems and also an umbrella to the accompaniment of dance and music to Sri Mad Amritkeshwara. The same king also offered a seat for Sivalinga together with best ritual utensils and equipments to the accompaniments of dance and music to Sridheshwara. Both Amritakeshwara and Sridheshwara are venerated names of Shiva in Thailand. We can see a golden seat in this slide here. The Phandung inscription, dated 829, begins with a salutation to Shiva, who is known as Pashupati, the Lord of creatures. The image of Lord Harihara, the combined form of Hari, that is Vishnu, and Hara, that is Shiva, which is adorned with the crescent moon, was erected or built here. The inscription of Boika, dated 868, written in Sanskrit and Khmer, begins with an invocation to Shiva, who is described as having fire, the sun, and the moon as his eyes. He is the essential cause of all things. There are some sites in the countries of Southeast Asia related to Shaivism and considered as World Heritage Site. Wat Pho, a temple complex in southern Laos, was originally a Hindu temple dedicated to Lord Shiva before being converted to a Buddhist temple. It was built during the Khmer Empire. The terrace of the temple complex, measuring 60 meters in height, contains the main sanctuary dedicated to Shiva. The main sanctuary enshrined the linga, the representation of Shiva. The water stream from the Phukao mountain continuously pour water on Shivlinga. We can see the images of this temple in the slide. Apart from Shaivism, the religious life of Southeast Asia was also influenced by Vaishnavism, that considers Vishnu as supreme God. Vaishnavism also had profound influence on the entire course of religious development in Southeast Asia, especially in the countries of Champa, modern day central and southern Vietnam, and Cambodia. In Southeast Asia, Vishnu is known by various names such as Narayan, Hari, Govind, Madhav, Purushottam, Padmanav, Vasudev Krishna, Pundarikaksha, Achyut, Sri Vishwarupa, etc. It demonstrates the prevalence and popularity of Vishnu in the countries of Southeast Asia. More than 50 epigraphs have already been discovered bearing the name of Vishnu, which throws significant light on the practice of Vaishnavism among the people in this region. Inscriptional and iconographical evidences prove the prevalence and popularity of other Vaishnava concept relating to the worship of Vasudev Vishnu. Beside the Pancharatra, Avatarvad, Gopal Krishna, etc., in the countries of Southeast Asia. The Pancharatra, a Vaishnava Hindu tradition which particularly focuses on the worship of Vishnu, was known to the inhabitants of Angkor. Of the two interesting inscriptions bearing doctrine evidences about the Pancharatras, the Prerup inscription of Khmer king Rajendra Varman and Prasad Kok Po inscription of Udaditya Varman also bears verses showing the presence of Vishnu. The various incarnations of Vishnu have been portrayed on the walls of various temples in Cambodia. The reference of the Varaha avatar of Vishnu is found in the Angkor Wat inscription of Jayavarman, dated 890 AD. The fresco paintings on the interior of the Prasatning Khaman temple in Koh Kher, Cambodia, contain pictures representing various activities of Krishna Narayan. Various scenes from the Ramayana and Mahabharata are portrayed on the wall of temples. Vishnu's Vaman avatar, which is basically the fifth incarnation in the form of Narsimha, has been depicted in the temple of Wat Pho. Vishnu is also invoked in the name of Trivikrama in several inscriptions such as Bashak inscription of Rajendra Varman, Prasad Shankh inscription of Angkor Thom. These are the pictures of temple. This is particularly about the entrance from the east. The east Gopuram is clearly showing in the picture. This is the central part of the temple complex. So, an inscription found at Nekda Dabang Dek in the province of Terang in southern Cambodia opens with a eulogy to Vishnu. It also records the installation of an image of Vishnu. The various activities of Krishna's life became the object of worship among the masses in Cambodia. For example, the scene representing Krishna holding the Mount Govardhan on the palm of his hand was popular among the Cambodians. These scenes are also popular in the region of Vrindavan and Mathura in India. The Prasad Prime Loven inscription of King Gunavardhan records the installation of a footprint of Vishnu mentioned under the name Chakra Tirthas Vamin. The Bakong inscription of Khmer king Indravarman dated 803 AD records the installation of Vishnu Vamin, an image of Vishnu for the welfare of Jayavarman III. Beside inscriptions, Lord Vishnu has also represented in a sculpture with his traditional symbols such as Shankh, Chakra, Gada and Padma. In the Kusicheng temple situated in Cambodia, Lord Vishnu is represented resting on the snake. There are many other representations of Vishnu which conclusively prove his popularity in the region of Southeast Asia. In conclusion, we can say that Hinduism in Southeast Asia had profound influence on the entire course of religious development. Although Hinduism with its two major traditions of Shaivism and Vaishnavism flourished among the Southeast Asian masses, but never suppress or eliminate the indigenous or native people and their culture. Rather, it was a harmonious blending of the two civilizations. Thank you all.